I take this opportunity to welcome you to the Institute of Management Consultants Leadership and Consulting Skills Certification Program. This is our first lecture, and I believe that you'll enjoy these studies as you are considering forth to become knowledgeable on leadership and business consulting. Unfortunately, most of what you're going to learn were not taught much at school. So the purpose of the Institute is to build your skill and give enablers to make you better consultant, better leader, to explore your internal capability and capacity so that you may be able to deliver the best of yourself. You need to realize that we are asking you to join the Institute of Management Consultants Tanzania because of a number of reasons. Number one, the Institute becomes as a platform for you to enjoy wider networking of people, but also business opportunity might be there. But also it gives certification on leadership whereby you can test your knowledge and see if you can support delivery of the same knowledge to the marketplace. Further to that, it helps to do networking. It helps you develop professionally. It gives you a skill that is rare found. Maybe I need to tell you that if you're a manager, if you're a director, if you're supervising a group of people, you're a consultant. What should you do when you're so angry by your based on the results or work output of your subordinates? Automatically, you need certain skills to adjust your anger so that still you can use that person to achieve the best for the interest of the future fit and objective of the organization. Now, on that welcoming note, I'll ask to go through the slide that you can see on the screen. This is a coverage for the curricula for the certified business consultant. Mind you, this institute is new. The aim is to support, to build up a team which will make us to be able to register ourselves with the International Council of Management Consultants. They need at least 200 plus members from Tanzania, and therefore we cannot just register members, but we want at least to make an initial training. And through that training, it can help to mobilize enough capacity and capability for the institute. So please, you are among the first people to join this kind of undertaking in the country, and therefore you'll be among the pioneers in the long run. The aim of all this together is not for a person, but rather this is a membership institute. It's a joint association of people doing management consulting in Tanzania. On my background, my name is Sako Merrick. I've been a consultant almost throughout my life, more than 30 years of what I've done in the marketplace. I had some challenges because it was difficult to get a place that you can get affiliation, you can consult people, you can ask some difficult questions which are in the context of Tanzania environment, but also a place which becomes a spokesperson for the consulting business in the country. Now, there are two types of consultants. There is an internal consultant to the organization, like a manager, a director, or supervisor. He's a consultant. He uses his skill and capability to support the organization to achieve its objective and goal. But also, there is external consultants who come routinely to also help organization to achieve the same goal. So in that regard, as you can see from the skill, our coverage will go through the membership, where there's a lot of advantage of becoming a member, networking, affiliation, one voice, knowledge, skills building, capacity attainment, but also we talk about training, regular training like the one you're doing now, you become expert on the field because you've got both hard skills and soft skills. You can be a lawyer, but many times you may lack soft skills to be able to become the best of you. You can be an accountant, but many times you may lack soft skills to be the best of you. And therefore, I need to groom up, I need to grow with soft skills, very imperative. In that regard, Institute of Management Consultant Tanzania has prepared a curricula that has got Module 1 to Module 7 that are expected to cover within the duration of time that's ahead of us. And we're expecting the third examination of the Institute will be held on 4th of December 2021. So join with us, and the lectures will be given every Saturday, and we'll have a mark. This one is called Introduction to Management Consulting, and then will come the second lecture until we finish the whole curricula. It needs dedication, it needs time, it needs effort, it needs commitment. So to start with, Imct, or Institute of Management Consultant, is a professional organization. It was established in 2017 with mandate to promote the common interest and to advance the theory and practice of management consulting in Tanzania for the people who are doing the management consulting profession in Tanzania. We shall see later what is the so-called management consulting because of our discussion, so don't worry about that. Now, people asking why from 2017 seems to be now running fast. It's a pioneer institution, and therefore it needed commitment and dedication. For example, I'm trying to bring forth this knowledge, but there's no support much, so sometimes you elude to go and start again. Notwithstanding, we have decided that this time we should push for this and establish a membership base based on the people who achieve the best in examination, and later there should be a membership institution that will be formed for the country. The aim is to create a legacy so that the country will have a lot of people with soft skills to make a difference on government sector, private sector, and even personal development. That will go towards the family level in that regard. In that regard, we are conducting forums, seminars, workshops, and examinations in the profession of management consulting. And in that regard, we offer professional certification every June and December. The purpose of this training or the manual is developed to provide guidance to trainers and even candidates preparing for the professional examination. And in the end of the day, we want people to be certified management consultants. Notwithstanding that fact, there is not only the examination, our curricula is also considering the other issues. Soon after you finish the examination, which is done once, but it has got 3 levels. There is a foundation stage, intermediate stage, and the final stage. Now, module 1 to 3 is a foundation stage. After finishing module 1 to 3, you are also allowed to sit for the leadership examination, because we believe that covering module 1 to 3, you'll be able to be a best leader. We want to be a servant leadership style that will make a difference to the marketplace. Then module 3 to 6 is all about intermediate stage. And the final module, together with the entire module 1 to 7, will be the so-called final examination. Now, foundation examination, you'll be sitting online after you are ready. Intermediate examination, you'll be sitting online. Notwithstanding, the final examination, you must do it in writing. So there is the examination center that is set up locally, and people come in to do the final examination to be certified as management consultants. You may put some questions on the YouTube channel and we'll respond to them easier as a follow-up after this presentation or anytime you find us online. Now, as we said, Institute of Management Consultants, it has got a one-tier examination scheme. The first one is the Graduate Management Consultant. Soon after you've done the exam, you're not yet a management consultant, you're a graduate. To be certified, you need to complete at least 2 proven management consulting assignments attested by the client. So soon after doing the exam, we'll offer you opportunity to an organization of your choice, whereby you find a problem and you address a particular problem. And after finishing that, we'll get a letter of recommendation from the organization that this person is a professional. And we'll give some checklist for them to fill. But also, you'll be appearing before a panel of 5 consultants who have at least more than 10 years in experience, trying to ask you some questions. Now, please understand, the aim is not to threaten you. The aim is not to cause fear on you, but the aim is really to get the best of you. We are tired of seeing the substandard work. We are tired of seeing some behaviors on grown-up people who would have done better than the way they're behaving in leadership in this country. So the aim is to get greedy people who will be able to be resilient in any situation to deliver the best result in whatsoever organization they are working. Now, purpose of this training and the manual is to provide knowledge and skill in use in application of management consulting tools and nurture the details of internal and external management consulting framework. As I said before, we are expecting people who are working in the organization in different management positions to be able to have critical consulting skills, but also to have leadership capabilities. The same applies to external consultant. Now, external consultants is natural. Why? Because most of the time, they are not part of management. They're just coming for a particular season or time, and they go. So, AIM want to cover the knowledge and skill utilization of management consulting techniques. We shall see what are the techniques for effective decision making, and to provide competence and proficiency necessary for identifying and solving complex consulting situations such as strategy, project, human resource, change management, engineering, IT implementation, procurement, and other cooperation areas in a multidisciplinary business environment. The purpose is also to meet the stringent requirement of International Council of Management Consultants Institute, ICMCI. You can see their website, but also the other global standards such as International Standard Organization. Now, this manual, it has done its best to comply with the International Council of Management Consulting Institute summary of common body of knowledge, which is a broad statement of topics that cover the scope of management consultants' work. Members of Institute of Management Consulting Institute, Council of Management Consulting Institute, it requires them to have board of knowledge to incorporate relevant Institute of the International Council of Management Consultants Institute materials plus other local requirements. Now, as I said, as a country, we are starting now to go to the adoption of the requirement for the ICMCI, the Institute International Council of Management Consultants. Typically, the summary of board of knowledge applies to all management consultants. In addition, consultants are expected to have functional knowledge in the form of their subject matter expertise. So please understand that you need to have certain level of expertise. For example, you may be a lawyer, you may be an accountant, you may be a doctor, you may be administrator, you may be an economist, you may be whatsoever profession you talk about. So what you want is to embed soft skill in you so that you may deliver the best result and output expected. Now, mind you, our aim is not to train specialists in knowledge. Specialist knowledge is not part of the scope of the body of knowledge. What we want is to see how do you deliver your expertise to the benefit of the client. I repeat, the aim is to see how do you deliver the expertise to the benefit of the client. That's consulting, typically. How do you deliver your expertise to the benefit of the client? That's the most important part of our school or of our training. Now, we've got examination scheme. The examination schemes cover the knowledge and skill on utilization of management consulting techniques for effective decision making, and it provides competence and the proficiency necessary for identifying and solving complex consulting situations such as strategy, project, human resource, change management, engineering, IT implementation, procurement, and other corporate area in a multidisciplinary business environment. The examination scheme intends to cover the nature, scope, and purpose of management consulting. That it includes the following. Number one, what is the process of doing consulting? As we said before, you remember on the previous slide, that the purpose of all this is to deliver, look on what I'm highlighting, to deliver that expertise to the client benefit. So the aim is to see the consulting process, then we'll try to look on the code of ethics and the professional etiquette, and then we'll see how do you start your own consulting practice, how do you manage it, because the issue is some people sometimes before they are eager to quit their jobs so that they may start a consulting practice, but that requires certain baseline understanding and knowledge to make a difference. So how the examination looks like. The management consulting professional examination consists of 200 weighted multiple choice questions and one written case study question with a total score of 300 points. The pass mark is 225 points, that is 75%. The examination is usually take 3 hours. The final examination. Please, I want you to take note that foundation stage examination and intermediate examination, they are all multiple choice questions and they are done completely online. But the final examination is a written examination whereby you need to score at least 300 points, that is 75%. But don't worry, you may repeat the examination 2 times on the same fee in case you don't get it through. But after 2 times, you need to go back to school. So the examination is done in 3 levels. Foundation stage, which has got 3 modules. Intermediate stage, which have got 3 modules. And the final stage, which is the final examination now. But now the final examination is set to have all the 7 modules. What is the entry requirement? Number 1, any university degree in business, social sciences, engineering, or equivalent qualification from a recognized training institution, and should be subject matter expert in the field of environment. When I'm saying about subject matter expert, being a graduate, you're already becoming a subject matter expert. So in addition to qualification of master's degree is not necessary, but at least you need to be a graduate. Now I want to groom you to be able to become expert on the field that you want to deliver. But also, you may have other professional qualification which is not necessarily the first degree, such as CPA, ACCA, CSA, CV, or any other internationally recognized professional qualifications. Mind you, the Certified Management Consulting Examination skill contain of 7 modules. Let's see the structure of professional assessment. Candidates attempting the examination or this professional examination is going through the 3-stage assessment. That is 2 online examination and 1 final examination. But later, to be typically certified, you need to present at least 2 consulting assessments for certification purposes. The assessment will be as follows. Test pack number 1, that is module 1 to 3, which is a foundation stage. We shall show the subject. You'll do it online, and it is 100%, but it comprises only 245. It's 100 questions, but in weight average is 12.5%. The second continuous assessment is module 4 to 6. That is intermediate stage, and that also carries 12.5%. So the final examination, it carries almost 75%. The continuous assessment can be written by the candidate anytime when the person is ready, but also we've got a number of test pack on our website, which you can test your own knowledge. The aim is not to make it something difficult, but it requires some certain level of discipline and certain level of commitment. In both examination and final examination, the pass mark is 75%. Now, what are the modules of management consulting examination? So we've got the foundation stage, which has got 3 modules. First module is the meaning, scope, purpose of management consulting. So we'll talk about definition of consulting, meaning of management consulting, why should we have management consulting, significance of consulting, introduction to consulting process, past, present, and the future of management consulting, but also consulting industry. Now, please, I need to put this very clear. Typically, why do we have consulting and management consulting? Consulting is very broad. It goes to other things like the project, etc. But management consulting typically is about organizations. It's about supporting organization to achieve. That's why it's called management consulting. What do we manage? It's about planning, directing, and controlling the organization. Planning, directing, and controlling the organization. So it's consulting on those areas. That's why a core to our course is leadership skill. And on module 1, there is an option or elective to start leadership and get certification on that. Second module is relationship with the client. Now, for the internal consultant, a client is a person you're working with or your senior person in the organization. But for the external consulting, a client is the one that is giving you a certain particular terms of reference to achieve in the organization on temporal basis. So in the client relationship, we talk about expectation and laws, system and the critical dimensions, behavioral role of the consultant, influencing the client system, but also we talk about counseling and coaching, which is very important knowledge for any consultant. In module 3, we are talking about change management, approaches to change. If you want to implement changes to their life, to the organization, what are the things to look onto? How do you manage conflict? Because change is resistible, but also there will be structural arrangement on the and intervention that will be there. Module 4, module 1 to 3 will cover about the concept of entire of management consulting in its full understanding. That is baseline, that's foundation stage. And there will be examination in that area. Now, there will be 2 types of examination. For those who want to specialize on leadership, they will take an elective. Those who want to go ahead with both consulting and leadership will continue. So, on foundation stage, there will be an exam. That is 100 question, and the pass mark is almost 75. Stage 4, or module 4, we try to look on the cultural management, the consulting profession, and the code of ethics. So we need to understand what's culture, influence of culture, values of culture, levels of culture, culture management, the profession of management consulting, professional approach, the association in management consulting, what is the code of conduct? Because something to be a profession or to be a profession, it must have a code of conduct. What are the levels of licensing and certification? And what about the professional responsibility, but also what is the legal ability? Now, Module 5 is a gist of the matter. We are talking about the consulting process, including tools for diagnosing problem. As you see in the car, you put certain two machines or two kind of connectors, then you may know what the problem in the car. The same is to the management consulting. When you go to the organization, you may feel a lot of problems. Performance is weak, people are not supporting management, there is a poor presentation skills and capability. Now, the question is proper diagnosis. If this is like hospital, we are talking about diagnosing malaria or other problems. So poor diagnosis will result into poor solution undertaking. There must be a proper diagnosis of the problem so that you may address a consulting problem technically and aptly. Otherwise, you may end up solving, we call it quick fix solution, which does not help the client. So there's a problem diagnosis, terms of reference and preconception arrangements, developing an assignment strategy, preparing a proposal, consulting contract, conceptual framework of diagnostic, defining necessary facts, data analysis, tools for data analysis, getting feedback from client, action planning, consultant role implementation, and lastly, how do you finalize your work as a consultant? Module 6, we'll be trying to go now to the details of specialized area, general and strategy consulting, information technology consulting, financial management consulting, and tools. So we're going to look on not only the knowledge, but tools, what are used. Marketing and distribution consulting, what are the tools? E-business consulting, operational management consulting, human resource management consulting, productivity and performance improvement consulting, quality management consulting, company transformation consulting, legal consulting, risk management consulting, small business consulting, consulting in government and public sector, consulting in corporate social responsibility, but also we try to look on the local perspective of the industry in Tanzania. Module 7 will be trying to look on how to manage the consulting firm. It tells about how do you start your own consulting firm and what are the things to look into to be careful in during course of trying to achieve the value in your firm. And in that regard, we try to look on the how do you structure your firm? What kind of departments you need to have? How do you start? How do you start your consulting in a garage and then move to a big city mall? We try to look on the operational performance and financial management. How do you make knowledge management? How do you manage professional services? Consulting, how do you prepare a strategy for your business? But also trying to look how do you market your business? And we look on the cost and fees. How do you charge a fee? How do you pay the cost? What are the baseline? But also try to look on managing assignment. If you're given the consulting work, how do you go about? And we also consider the compensation policies and practices. Then we'll try to look on the 10 commandments of consulting. In that course also we look on professional etiquette and how do you prepare for the future. Now I'll put this page blankly, purposely. In the course of each module coverage, will also be embedding skills in you. The following top 7 skills, which are very relevant. Number 1, public speaking skills. Number 2, professional writing skills. Number 3, we call it interpersonal skills. Number 4 is about behavior management skills. Number 5 is about the we call it kind of undertaking skills. How do you go about doing the delivery to a consulting work? And number of other skills that will be embedded. So in each day, you try to embed in you particular level of skill and understanding. Please feel free to ask a question, feel free to contribute to improve our curricula so that we may deliver the best to you. Having said so, this is an introduction, and therefore next session we try to look on the first module of our coverage, where we'll be to look on the meaning, scope, and the so-called purpose of management consulting. That will be our next move. But before you go, I would like us to gain certain soft skill, which will be very important before I close my session or an introduction today. And I would like to share with you about the public speaking skills as for purpose of understanding baseline for that. But before I go to that topic, I would like you to ask a question, if you've got any question. In case you need something to understand it better, please don't fail to write to us. We'll be more than pleased to address every question you send to us. Once again, thank you very much for taking time to understand Institute of Management Consultants. And as we go on, we'll be able to work together and achieve the best you in the course of this career. Thank you. See you next time. But before I go, I want us to get some basics of public speaking so that from today you might start to practice. Question is, what is public speaking? Typically, is how do you speak to the group of people in a structured and deliberate manner with an aim of informing, influencing, or entertaining. So, public, it means group of people. The structure is how do you put up your reasoning from A, B, C to D so that people can understand. In the end of the day, what you want to achieve after sitting back with a cup of coffee is to inform, or you want people to agree to your policies or to entertain the listeners. Now, you can see from the social media in Tanzania, we have got people who want to inform. For example, the Minister of Finance, when he was informing about the changes to the new fees on the use of the mobile phone, on the sending and receiving money on the mobile phone. Now, with inform, many times there's no kind of argument around, because many times you may find that it's already a law. It has gone through that process of argument and bargaining. So now you give the information to the public. Or you want to influence. Now, for example, what most of politicians they are doing is to influence you to select them. Or if you're a pastor or a preacher in any other religion, the aim is to influence people to understand your concept and to join you in whatever you're doing. Or it might be the entertainers, whereby they make you laugh from morning to evening. Now you need to be careful, because some people are entertainers. If you want to get entertainment, go there. If you want to get the influence, there are people influencers, but also there are people who are giving the information. For example, as I began this series, I explained about the Imct. I was trying to inform. Then I went through trying to influence you to ensure that we gain common understanding, and whereby I had to tell you about the advantage why you need to be management consultant. And I see you, as I see you continue to gain on these studies, I believe that I'll be able already influenced. Entertain, it means to make people laugh. Some of the session we try to entertain, but it's not the purpose of this very great undertaking. We say that question which I want to ask you as a pause, I need you to answer yourself. If you want to be a great speaker, are they born or they are made? What do you think? Some people think that there are people who are born great speakers. Not true. Even if you are born a great speaker, it's a process of learning and learning and learning and learning and learning. But also, even if you're not born a great speaker, you can be trained to become a great speaker. So most of the time is about a training that takes greater part. We say a person's ability or capability is almost 90% trained and 10% inborn. But also, perhaps you need to understand that public speaking is about presenting. And presenting something is a skill which you need to develop through training and experience. It's very important to have a good presentation. And a good presentation can help and reduce time wastage. If you're working in an organization, a well-organized report, a well-presented report saves time. So we say a good presentation is the single most effective tool of any organization you need to have. But even to your own life, if you can present very well, you can influence your life and also lead to followers and become the best leader out of it. Now, the question is, why should you have public speaking? There are a number of reasons which you need to address. And maybe, number one, you need to understand that aim of public speaking is to inform, to inspire, to communicate view, but also to educate. So, fellows and colleagues, this ends my introductory lecture on public speaking today. I ask you to go to some rhetoric public speakers in the world, like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Nelson Mandela, Julius Kambarage Nyerere, and get why do they become great people? What are the qualities that make them to be able to present? Because public speaking is all about presentation as a tool to bring message home, but also is only basis for relationship. But also it reflects your image, your value system, and your vision. So I think for today, the dossier might be too big, and therefore allow me to end here. Until next time, thank you very much. And I believe you'll be with me again next Saturday from 9 a.m. to 12 noon, or from 3 p.m. to 18 hours noon. I am Sako Merrick from the Institute of Management Consultants, Tanzania. I will welcome your feedback, suggestion, and recommendations. Thank you very much.